Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 7th, 2023. This is the morning ride into work, part one. I did film the ride home yesterday. I didn't post it. There wasn't really a lot of content there. There was a lot of dead space. I did talk a little bit about different things, mainly a rehash of the things I talked about in the morning, but I didn't like the whole the third video got interrupted halfway through, and then I started to try to do a part two of part three like I've done before, and I just wasn't feeling it. Obviously, I still don't have I can't think of what the word for it is. A phone holder that goes on the windshield. Like, maybe it's just called a phone holder. I don't know. I think there's a word for it. So you're sitting in my cup holder, phone holder. Man, that sounds awkward to say. Again today. Good morning. So it must have snowed last night. My car is covered in snow and ice. I'm not making the same mistake I made yesterday. I wore my shoes. I wore my shoes to get into the car, and I immediately took them off after I got into the car, and it was quite painful. I think I'm a little better today than I was yesterday, but I don't know, because yesterday I wore my shoes during the entire ride in. I really hate to do this, but I think I'm going to have to take the highways again today. Yesterday, I took the highways. I could have risked going the other way, because on Sunday I did all my preliminary work for one day. So I had banged out a large swath of what I needed to get done the day before. So, there wasn't a lot of pressure to get into work early to get it done. Today there is, because I didn't do what I normally do at work at home yesterday. So, and you shouldn't really do work when you're free time. I don't know. It's up to you. Do what you like. Anyway, I sometimes like to just get prepped. It just makes my life easier. But since I didn't, I'm going to take the highways again today to get in there. In the afternoon video, I think one of the only differences I showed my new shoes on camera because I had them off. I have them off now, but maybe if I get to a red light or something, I'll show them. Not right now because it's too dark out. They're just shoes. They're Timberland Pro steel tip oil and slip resistant soles. As I was saying yesterday, it's harder and harder to find steel tipped dress shoes. I don't know why. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. Like, I only shop in one store. They seem to have a nice collection, but I explained the store yesterday in case you didn't catch that one. It's a very funny place. It's in Gilbertsville. It's the only building on the street that it's on. Like, it's just a lone building, and the sign outside just says shoes. So it feels like a scam, but it's really a shoe store. And this giant sign on the store just says shoes. It's not even a lit up sign, just a wooden painted sign. You feel like you're walking into a trap. Windshield wipers are crap. That's better. My subscriber / viewer, it's literally been weeks and weeks since I've looked at the analytics. I'm pretty sure I still have 2 subscribers on both channels, and I know who they both are. The one is actually an active subscriber. He comments. It's just really funny. He was glad. You commented that you were like glad that I was back. It's like, Chris. It's just really, really funny. It's just, there's something humorous about the entire situation. Having a YouTube channel with one singular viewer. In fact, I had a second viewer, I had a second subscriber a while ago, and I told them to unsubscribe because it was weird. They shouldn't be subscribed to my channel. They're too young. They're a friend of my daughter. Don't subscribe to my channel. There's nothing to see here. So the sauerkraut's still going strong. I checked it again this morning, gave it the sniff test, pushed it down under the liquid again with the olive jar. I did taste it yesterday afternoon, and it's going really well. It's very, very tasty, and that's only after day 2. I wanted to taste it this morning because it's officially day 3, I guess, but very little time. I had time to pack a lunch, barely, but the act of packing a lunch made me have to take the highways to work. Tomorrow I work remotely. I assume I'm still allowed to work remotely on Wednesdays, and I might start a pickle brine tomorrow, and I'll film that if I do it. I'll set up, I'll do everything in the dining room, have some lighting, and there's nothing really worth watching unless you're one of those people that like to see someone do it. I mean, there's tons of people on the interwebs making this stuff, so there's really no reason for me to film it other than to just have more content that one person potentially might see. And who knows, maybe if my subscriber isn't already into fermenting foods, maybe he'll become a fermenter. The cabbage into sauerkraut's like the easiest one imaginable. I think I explained it on the video yesterday, but just to fill space, I'm going to explain it again. You just take a head of cabbage, you eighth it, cut it into 8 slices like a pizza. Remove the core. I usually remove the core. I've done this once. I remove the core when I've quartered it. It just seems easier to remove that inner white core, and then I cut those in half to make the eighths. Then I slice it, along the bias or whatever it is. They're pointed, like the wedges are like this, and I cut along the wedges to make strips of cabbage. Throw it all into a big bowl with 1.5 tablespoons of kosher salt. Massage the heck out of it for at least 5 minutes, and it will get very wet during that. Like you'll be surprised at how much moisture gets generated during that massaging process with the salt. Afterwards, the one cabbage divided up into 2 Bell canning jars when you mash it all down. Reserve the outer leaves. You don't cut up the outer leaves. You pull them off first, and then when you're done, you use parts of the big outer leaves which you've washed to push down the rest of the cabbage. And it won't have enough water initially to cover the to cover the mess you've made, but in a few hours there probably will be. It was my experience that I did, and then I also found that an olive jar, a small olive jar that we get from BJ's, 6-pack of olives. My daughter likes olives. That jar fits inside the Bell jar, so a couple times a day I use that to keep pressing the cabbage down. And the fermentation process occurs very quickly. In the first day, you start developing bubbles throughout it, and when you crush it down, all those bubbles come to the top. Like I said, I tasted it yesterday afternoon after only 2 days of fermenting, and it was already very tasty. It already had that kind of sauerkraut taste to it. I think I'm not a big fan carrots. I don't hate carrots per se. It's been my experience, if I eat carrots, I get a headache. Carrots give me a migraine for some reason. So I try to, I do eat carrots, but I try to do it in moderation. But anyway, that being said, I think the next time I do my cabbage recipe, I'm going to put some carrots in with it as well. Shredded up carrots. I may have been talking about a video I thought I had made Friday in my office, but it looks like I made it on Thursday, not Friday. And I realized, like, I have that was me sitting at my work computer doing work. Obviously, it was 20 minutes plus. That should have just been a short. Maybe it was. Oh my God! All the rocks. Maybe it was 18 minutes. It doesn't matter. It should have been 2 minutes. And even my wife pointed that out, that I probably shouldn't have posted that. It was just a really long thing. I should have started it over, and just when I got to the point where I could explain the 30 seconds worth of information, if that, I should have done that. But I didn't. So there's like this long 18-minute video, which basically the punchline is, I haven't made a video in a while because I have gout and I haven't been driving. And that was really the main thrust of the video, and it took me like almost 20 minutes to get that out. Also, the whole point why I started the sentence, I noticed when I'm working, like I work from 2 monitors, and I'm kind of close to the camera, so like my head is darting all over the place, but it's because I'm looking at different areas of my 2 monitors. So it's, I thought I looked like a crazy person, but I'm not saying I'm not a crazy person. I'm just saying, if you thought it looked weird the way I was just like darting my head around, it's because I have 2 monitors at different angles in that corner where I have my work laptop hooked up to a docking station that I have attached to the wall. So that's why all the head juttiness. I had every intention of taking my medication this morning, and I ended up, because I was kind of rushed, I ended up leaving without it. I'll just take it this afternoon, but I wish I would have grabbed this morning. I also wish I would have grabbed a bottle of water. I do have my lunch bag in the back seat, and there's a small container of, I think I forgot to grab an ice pack too. That's unfortunate. That means I'm going to have to eat the perishables first. Plasticware at work, I can get away with that. All I brought to heat up was a potato. I think what I'm going to start doing going forward, because that happens quite often, the silverware thing. I think when I get home from work, when I empty my bag, I think I should just, before I put it away, just throw a fork, knife, and spoon right in the side pocket. Whether I need them or not, they're good to have. I think that'll be my plan going forward. That way I don't have to think about it in the morning, because usually I base what I grab on what I'm packing for lunch, but there's no harm in having a fork and knife, even if it's a spoon-only day. since I didn't air the afternoon drive home, I'll cover some of the stuff. So I got to work. You saw at the end of the video I was in quite a lot of pain. My foot was in the my shoe for an hour and a half, 2 hours while I was driving to work, and it just progressively got more and more painful. Right now I'm just I'm driving with my just my socks on. My shoes are over on the passenger seat floor. Like I said, I wore them to get into the car, and that was it. So at work, when I finally got to work, I went right to my desk and I took my shoes off, and I tried to sit there most of the day. I think it was like 4 or 5 times I had to put my shoes on to go into the shop for various reasons, and it was excruciating, and got worse every time. Both putting it on and taking it off, and the temptation is there when you get back to your desk to not take the shoe off because it's going to be so painful to take it off, but definitely worth taking the shoe off. So I'm probably in the same situation today. It hurt more taking the shoe off when I got in the car than it did putting it on. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to do the same thing when I get to work. I'm going to put my shoes back on to get into the building, and then as soon as I get to my desk, I'm going to take them off. I don't really have to take them both off, but I think it looks even sillier if I'm just wearing one shoe. So there's that. I'm kind of curious as to how long my old shoes lasted. Like I said, my old pair of shoes were Red Wings, and I was very happy with them. They weren't quite, I guess they could pass for dress shoes. They were a brown suede. I forget what these are. I think it's very similar. The only aspect of them I don't like is they've got the orange inner liner, like a Timberland orange, and like I said, I'm looking for a very nondescript shoe with a steel tip. I don't want it to look like a work boot. Like I don't wear, even though like I'm in a factory, I don't work out in the shop. I just need the shoes for safety reasons. I work in the office, so I would prefer more of a dress shoe looking boot than a work boot looking boot. Plus, I generally end up using them as my everything shoe. So these, my old ones wouldn't work either. But I think what I'm going to do is get some like really nice loose-fitting office shoes. Since I only need the boots to go into the shop, maybe I'll just get a second pair of dress shoes for work. Probably should have done that in the first place. Yeah, I know, you don't care about any of what I'm talking about right now. Like, you're actually watching me talk to myself out loud, which has got to be the most boring thing in the entire world. I apologize. This morning. Not exactly sure why, but I'm always so happy when I wake up and I look at my phone to see what time it is, and I've still got hours, because my alarm doesn't go off until sometime between 3 and 4 o'clock. So like 1:30, I've still got like time to go back to sleep. talking about the diet and the it's weird. When I was at work, there's a guy that works in another department who was. I can't imagine that's good for the truck. He was complaining about his weight, and he wanted to lose weight, and he was talking about these meal replacement shakes that he's on, and so we ended up getting into talking about food, because I mentioned the reason why I hadn't been in the building for 2 weeks is I have a severe gout flare-up. He says, "Do you have diabetes?" I said, "No," blah, blah, blah. It went on like this. Apparently, there's an association with gout and diabetes. I haven't looked it up, but I don't believe I have diabetes, but I am thirsty. So anyway, like I was talking about that intermittent fasting I was doing, and I'd already been losing weight. I got to under 200 pounds, and then I got hit with the gout. So there's at least 2 weeks that I wasn't doing the fasting, and I had just really started doing the intermittent fasting thing for like maybe a week or two. So it was like only, it was like somewhere between 3 and 6 days that like I had done over the course of 2 weeks where I had eaten. And besides the conversation we had about like replacement dry powders, I'm not sure that you really get everything you need from those, because I thought you needed some of the healthy bacteria that grows on fruits and vegetables. The whole reason you can ferment them is because of the stuff that lives on them. And it also got into like the intermittent fasting, and I mentioned it to him, and I didn't get into the primal that I used to do or anything like that. And he mentioned that it was not like, he's heard that that's not sustainable, that the weight comes back. Oh, it's been over 2 weeks since I've stopped the intermittent fasting. I haven't changed any of my eating habits other than I'm eating every day now, and I'm still at the exact same weight. I haven't gained a pound. I'm still under 200 pounds. So there's that. And then like I didn't think about it at the time. I was thinking about it this morning. I'm going to continue this in the next one. Have a wonderful